Hey, it's Dudley and Jason from Hogville.net's Arkansas Diamond Report. If you're looking for some great tacos and a place to call the hogs, Torchy's is the place. We will air the Arkansas Diamond Report every Friday at 11:30 a.m. at their Rogers location until the end of the baseball season. Join us for some damn good tacos and baseball. Go Hogs!
And everybody, welcome to the post-game, I guess. Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. Sorry about the little bit of delay here. Apparently my computer is also feeling the effects of the loss for the Razorbacks today. Hey there, everybody. Trying to figure this stuff out here. So I've got the not sure where I left you guys off at, but let's just kind of pick it up from here. Arkansas hasn't won a series at home in the regional since now 2021 when they beat Nebraska and then went on to lose to NC State. 2 years ago, they went on the road twice, once to Stillwater in that regional, and then beat North Carolina at the Chapel Hill region. A buddy of mine, Marcus Carlton, had a great little nugget he sent to me and said that the last time Arkansas won a regional at home was when Charlie Welch hit it, a home run to win the series. This is super disappointing. I don't know where to go from here as far as exactly what to say other than looking at the stats. They backed up everything the way that Arkansas played. They left 27 men on base this weekend, which is the most since Kentucky when they left 31 men on base over a 3-game stretch. Arkansas, as you can see on the crawl down there, they started the season off at 27-3 and then finished the season at 13-15, I do believe. So that's something that just it scratches your head. You look at the bats. Gary Deaton made a great point here. Worst hitting team I've seen at Arkansas. I mean, it's not like they have only been scoring 1-2 runs in the last 28 games. It's because one, their bullpen pitching has been horrific. You got a guy that comes in and then gives up. Last night you comes in and gives up the game win or really the game winning home run in the eighth, bottom of the eighth. Arkansas had a chance to tie it up. I mean, you look at Nate Thompson, for instance. He holds up JSL at third whenever the right fielder overruns the ball. He could have scored. There's a good chance he could have scored because then the fielder misplayed the ball also as well, and it rolled harmlessly towards the third base line. That could have been the tying run that Arkansas could have needed to maybe force extra innings. You didn't expect Hagen Smith to go and throw well, and then in the 5th inning, the wheels fall off with whatever he had going on, and I am not sure. Uh, because he gave up 6 runs. He's given up 13 runs all season. So at this point, it's like you don't know. You just scratch your head. You sit there and you wonder. And it's mind-boggling. It really is. And you guys, any thoughts, comments? Throw those up there. Um, good, bad, or ugly. It doesn't matter. This is more of a bloodletting, kind of a get your feelings out a little bit. You had such high hopes coming into this season because you had the crap with basketball, you had the crap with football, and this is the one sport that a lot of people look towards and say, you know what? This is what I'm looking for. What I'm looking forward to. I mean, we've been saying this since probably September. You know what? Wait till baseball season comes. Wait till baseball season gets here. Well, but by God, baseball season's here, gone now. Because you don't put all your eggs in one basket and then expect this result. You just don't. I talked to Dudley Dawson a lot, talked to Otis a lot, talked to Kevin a lot. More Dudley about baseball, and it's baffling. It really is baffling because some of these, Arkansas is one now. I got to look this up real quick, y'all. I want to make sure I'm accurate when I say this because this is pretty stinking telling. Arkansas is now 1-12 after trailing after the 6th inning. 1-12. This team did not play from behind. They couldn't get the bats going through the first 4 innings, except for Friday. Friday was a different story. But it's just mind-boggling. It really is. I don't know where else to turn from here. You got thoughts, comments, whatever you want, put it up here. We'll put it up. We'll discuss it. And because let's face it, the team as a whole underperformed at the end of the season. I don't know exactly what it was. If it was being tired, just not clicking, not seeing the ball right. I don't know if it's approach from the clubhouse. I don't know what it is. I don't know what else to put out there other than the team peaked at the middle of the season because after April 12th, everything went to hell in a handbasket for this team. Robert Patrick, Nate Thompson is completely useless as a hitting coach. Maybe not in mechanics, but maybe in approach. Maybe in not mechanics, but maybe in approach, because we've seen it too many times, time and time again, where you have Arkansas batters taking called strike threes with aluminum on their shoulders. You have, like, for instance, last night I saw Peyton Holt. His approach was crazy. He takes a strike, and then towards the end of the game, and then swings at a ball that's was clearly way out and way far down into the left, and then does the same thing again and check swings, and that's it. I mean, you can't have those types of at bats and expect to be successful. Also, another thing too is that you have this is going to kill me when I say this. You have runners on base with no outs, second and third, and you cannot push them across. You can't push them across. That's been the Achilles heel of this team this entire season, is being able to push runners across. Now, it's all fine and glad and great whenever you're winning. You can look over that kind of stuff. But then whenever you start to lose, now that's the biggest problem. And if I can get Dudley on, I don't know if we're going to be able to or not, just because I know he's got the presser. Post game, also he's going to be talking to CMO's coach as well. So I don't know if there's a possibility of getting him on with us. So, and then Otis, I know he's pretty, as far as that goes, he's also writing for the paper. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get him on. Let's go over some stats really quick. As you guys might not know, it looked like Arkansas might have a chance to kind of get back into it in the 5th inning with the Peyton Holt homer. And then you're sitting there, you're kind of feeling good about it, and then everything goes away. And then the home run in the 9th inning, which I'm telling you, it's like feast or famine with this club. 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 error. They left 7 on base, 27 for the weekend. Top performer for today, I'm going to have to say, would be Peyton Holt. He went 2 for 4. Got had an RBI with that solo home run, scored 2 runs. And Ryder Helfrich did a great job behind the plate. Had 12 putouts. I know that those are slightly misleading, but you had Gage Wood give up that quick run in the 1st inning, and I know that there was a lot of, oh no, this is starting to happen again, come through Razorback fans at Baum Stadium, because once that happened, and then you see how Arkansas was no hit through the first 4 innings, it was like a recipe for disaster. And then they put the 3 runs in the 4th, and this team limped into the regionals, and they limped into the SEC tournament, and they were a 2 in a barbecue out, and that's it. And you expected a better showing this weekend, especially at home, after such a great record this season. 12-0 during midweek games. 31-3 at home. Now 32-5 now at home for the season. And you have to kind of wonder what's going to happen in this clubhouse since the season has ended over the next few weeks. I know that there's a lot of people that would love to see certain coaches head out. There are openings where they were previously at before. Throw your thoughts, comments, concerns, bring them on up here. Got Torchies over here. We're going to do one more live show for sure with them at Rogers coming up this Friday. And going to go ahead and do our final show from there. Looking forward to that. So you guys can check us out on Friday at 11:30 to 12 for our usual Arkansas Diamond report. So Arkansas season has ended with a 6-3 loss to Southeast Missouri State after they had just got done clubbing them 17-8 the 2 days before. They finished the season at, sorry, I had it just pulled up here, 44-16. And if you told me that Arkansas was going to wind up with 16 losses by the end of this season, I would have taken that bet to Vegas, and I would have put every dollar I had on it. I think there's a lot of fans that would have, because the body of work was not indicative of how the season ended. It was like a tale of 2 seasons, really. It's like they peaked, and then at April 12th on, it was like a 747 skidding off the end of a runway trying to hope to stop. That's what it felt like. It's what it looked like. I want to go back to what I just said about the clubhouse too. This weekend, next weekend, the next couple of weekends, over the next month, Dave Van Horn he's got to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, this is not working. What does this need? What do I need to do to turn this around? What do I need to do to make this look different? because when you have a bunch of guys that do not hit home runs and you do not play small ball, at least K-State knew who they were. They knew exactly who they were. They were out there and they said, we're going to play small ball. We're going to get it across with bunts, move guys around, sacrifice or two, and then try to get a slap hit into to the outfield and score runs that way. I mean, Arkansas didn't have that. Arkansas kind of was a mystery in their identity at the plate this year. And that showed. That showed. Because now you're at home, sitting back now, watching two other teams play in your regional final, and you're gone as the 5th overall seed in the NCAA baseball tournament in the College World Series. That's pretty tough to swallow. Arizona had the same thing happen to them today. So that's all I got to say about that. Bob M. Nate Thompson needs to go. Bob, you, Robert, Gary, all three of you guys. Yep, it's exactly the same. That's the narrative over the next few weeks. Is there's going to be a lot of torches and pitchforks coming after Nate Thompson, because when you have something like this happen, somebody has to be held accountable. And Dave Van Horn's going to be the first one to sit there and put himself and take the accountability for that. So what does he go from here? Does he look at possibly another hitting coach? Does he stay with Nate Thompson? Does he transform the lineup? You heard Dave talk about investing more NIL money into pitching so that they could be set up well if something like this did happen, where you lost a game in a regional. They were still deep in the bullpen, where you had middle relievers that could come in and give you 3, 4, 5 innings if need be. If you had a starter like Gage Wood, for instance, that gives up four runs over the first 4 innings, to come in and kind of stop the bleeding a little bit. You didn't expect Hagen Smith to give up 6 runs last night. The bullpen did pretty dang good. They held K-State to 1 run after the fact. Arkansas played catch up, but it wasn't just enough. And again, this team was not built to come from behind. That's where the shortcomings really, I feel like, really came from. Massey 31-29. Let's see here. Hogs were never that good this year, ranked higher than they should have been once competition level cranked up. We were 500 team with a 250 batting average, had 1 decent pitcher. 1. That's a fair assessment, in that as competition did get tougher, you had Mason Molina. He started to falter towards the end of the season. Then you have Brady Tigert that had the shoulder problem that didn't really tell anybody about it. He ended up getting put on the shelf for the weekend. Him and Molina both have been kind of in and out of the rotation over the last month for various reasons. You saw Brady. It didn't look like he was quite right, just with his location and how he was with his follow through on his mechanics. There was something there, but didn't want to comment on it because, again, there was nothing out in the injury report regarding that. So if there's something that's not out there, I'm not going to comment on that. But yeah, like you said, you had 1. Yeah, you had Ben Bybee. He did pretty darn good for the most part, for what he was able to do, being a midweek starter. You didn't think that Will McIntyre would be this guy that was such a great midweek starter, and then start to bring him in middle relief on the weekends, and then kind of fall by the wayside. It's like the entire pitching staff kind of fell by the wayside as the season progressed. Bob M. Yeah, Hogs entered the regional 64th and the worst batting average of 64 teams in the tournament. Also, State was above them at 63 last night, which was so ironic. And then Leslie's a mainstay on here for the Arkansas Diamond Report. Hopefully, we can hear some good news about another basketball player coming to the Razorbacks. That's a to be determined. If you guys want any news, uh, any updates, make sure to follow and like the Hogville.net YouTube page. You will catch all of our shows live. If you want, make sure to like and subscribe so that way whenever myself or Dudley or Otis or Kevin go live, you can get that notification to your phone or to your computer that, hey, we're on. You can jump on with us. So make sure to go in and like, subscribe. Now, I want to say something too, real quick. Um, Whenever I came on board last year, right around May, we had 1,600 subscribers. As of right now, we've got 3,700. Like literally, like four short of 3,700 new subscribers or 3,700 total subscribers. So keep piling on with us because we're just going to keep pumping out great content. We got football season that's going to be coming up. We got SEC Media Days. We got Kevin that's going to be live at these camps with Coach Calipari, wherever he's going. So make sure to jump on with us and follow all of our great content. Also, if you go onto the hogville.net website, you can also see all the Picture Nation stuff and also on the message boards. So we're kind of doing this without Cam today just because my computer decided to, I guess, give me the middle finger and said he's not going to work with me today. And that's fine with me. That's cool. We're still going to do this. I want to thank everybody for jumping on with us today. So far, we got about 250 people watching live. So we'll do this for probably about 10-ish minutes. So I want to hear your voice. I want to hear what you have to say about this whole debacle and how this end of the season turned out. Because let's face it, it's nothing that nobody, and I repeat, nobody saw coming. Last year was something that we kind of saw coming a little bit because we knew TCU was hot. But when you have La Tech, which is a 2 seed, which by the way made no noise this entire regional, almost as much as Arkansas didn't make any noise. And then you've got SEMO and you've got Kansas State that are going to be playing for the regional final tonight, I do believe, at 6 p.m. Let's see here. Bob M. I count 17 players gone next year from this team. That counts Tigert and Diggs will be being drafted along with Smith, Stovall, and White. Hope Holt gets a chance. That's going to be something they're going to have to watch over the next couple of months. What's going to happen with the Major League Draft, which, by the way, is going to be the same weekend as SEC Media Days in Dallas, at the same area that SEC Media Days is going to be happening at. SEC Media Days is going to be in Dallas. All-Star Game and the draft is going to be in Arlington. So that's something to keep an eye on. We'll be at the SEC Media Days also. We're just waiting for the confirmation for that too. So make sure to catch us whenever we go down there. Otis and Dudley be riding. I'll be podcasting. John will be shooting. The photog got all his great shots too. You guys can go on to Hogville and take a look at all those. So again, the season has ended for the 5th seed Arkansas Razorbacks in the Fayetteville Regional with a 6-3 loss to Southeast Missouri State this afternoon in what was a lackluster performance by the Razorbacks in terms of what they were able to do with the plate outside of game 1. Because let's face it, whenever you leave 27 batters on base the entire weekend, that smells like a disaster. Arkansas again 1-12 when trailing after 6 innings for the season, as the season has come to a close. It's been great to see Hagen Smith. He did become the all-time strikeout single season strikeout leader for the Arkansas Razorbacks last night. To tack on to the incredible amount of awards that young man has accumulated over the last 4 months, because we knew that he was going to be good. We just didn't realize that his K ratio was going to be so high. We didn't realize that he was going to be averaging 2 strikeouts per inning for every inning he pitched this year. If you told me that, I'm telling you, this team up until April 12th, you thought was going to be gangbusters. You thought, okay, you know what? I'm booking it. We're going to go to the regional. We're going to go to the super regional, and then we're going to see if we can make some noise in Charles Schwab in Omaha. And none of that happened. None of that. Um, let's see here. I disagree that no one saw this coming. I predicted we would lose this regional due to no hitting and poor pitching. I couldn't be only one who thought we could not get out of this regional walks and left on base. That's fair. That is fair. Also, Bob M, first thing Dave needs to do in the offseason, hire a GA to teach players how to bunt. Other than Will Edmondson, no one on this team can bunt. Even Wilmsmeyer was bad. Pathetic. So, again, this goes back to the identity crisis that Arkansas had at the plate this year. You had a team that was struggling to find out exactly who they were. Were they a small ball team? Were they a home run team? Were they a team that just hit for average and help and move guys across the base with sacrifices, or just exactly what? You didn't see what this team could be from the plate. Like, I feel like they didn't reach their full potential, because yes, they did have problems at the beginning of the year as far as putting runs across, but the pitching was good enough that they didn't need to put so many across. And then the thought was, okay, as the weather gets warmer, the bats are going to start to warm up. They never warmed up because the approach at the plate was skewed. You didn't know exactly where they were going to be coming from as far as their approach goes. Okay, am I going to be hitting for average power, so on and so forth? And that again falls on the hitting coach and also the head coach. So they'll be the first ones to tell you that, hey, this is exactly what we had wrong. And so again, Slim Pickens, the curse of Bob Holt begins. Oh my gosh. A buddy of mine told me, he said this team, but the school is cursed. And you look at football, you look at basketball, which I think basketball, that might have got fixed. Let's just throw that out there. Basketball might have just got fixed, but uh no, Bob, it is not the curse of Carson Shaddy or Chris Shaddy, or no, we're not going there. We're not going there. 2018 was in 2018. We're in 2024. Sorry, Bob. Moving on from that. So Dave Van Horn has some questions that he has to answer to himself over the next few months on, one, where does this staff, the coaching staff, go as far as assistant coaches? Does Nate Thompson move on to Missouri State possibly? Does he even apply? Does he even interview for the job? I would think that he would. That being where he came from before he came to Arkansas. So that, and also what this team's going to look like next year. How many players that they have already recruited are going to get plucked out of the Major League Baseball draft? I don't think that it's going to be as many. One, because you kind of saw it last year, because you can offer more money through NIL and also with direct payments now through the school. That's going to change things. And Major League Baseball is going to be kind of playing catch up on that a little bit, because now you're going to see kids either get more money in the draft on the higher rounds, and now they've got more rounds to be picked from. But can the schools match what you're going to get from Major League Baseball? And then you come to Arkansas, you look at the facilities, and you understand that if I'm going to be playing in low A ball and I'm going to be traveling in a bus, playing in front of, you know, 400 people crowds, and traveling a lot and playing 6 games at a time, uh, versus charter flights. I know that Major League Baseball make sure that those guys have got nutrition already, wrapped out and all that good stuff. But um, the creature comforts are going to be a lot nicer. You're going to have there's a possibility you may have some more money in your pocket too if you don't go the major league route and you go the college route. So I think that the trend of Major League Baseball players staying in the draft after let me rephrase that, staying with the team that drafts them, I think that they end up coming back. I think more players start to come back more. Um, Slim Piggins, just trying to be the lighthearted on this rough day. Appreciate your work, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that too. Um, and then Bob says he thinks that Missouri State has hired a coach. So if that's the case, I'll have to double check on that and get the confirmation on that. But in the meantime, let's talk about this for just a second. Dave Van Horn is going to have to reinvest more money in the lineup. I talked to Jay Johnson at the LSU series, and one of the first things that he told me and said was that we got ravaged by the draft with a power bat from the left side. Arkansas didn't have a power bat from the left side. You expected it to be Kendall Diggs. He was hurt. Peyton Stovall did, as much as, as well as he could. But you have to wait and see. Maybe if Nolan Souza starts to develop into that player that you thought he could be, um, and starts to take that next step. You saw some flashes of brilliance from him. You want to see him make that next step next year. Uh, who do you bring in from the transfer portal that's going to have pop in this lineup? Because that's what you're gonna need. You look at some of these schools and around the SEC, and their 7, 8, 9 hitters have just as many home runs as your entire team does individually. And that's not good. That's where Arkansas and Dave Van Horn need to step it up. Because if they want this thing to turn around, and if they want to keep moving forward and getting to Omaha more consistently, yes, pitching is a must, but at the same time, there are probably guys that you can take that can give you, it may not be as heralded arms as some of the ones that they've brought in, but are just as good when given the chance to get on that stage, put on that uniform, and toe the rubber at Baum Walker. I'm not saying that the guys that we have out here are it. I'm saying that there's other guys that they can bring in that may take a little less NIL money, and you can spend a little more on the lineup. And that's where I think that's where the gains can be made for this team next year. And we'll have to see exactly, you know, what Dave does in the offseason. And yes, I do believe that this lineup is going to look vastly different next year. Bob M, thanks for the therapy. Been a season ticket holder since 1977. Never thought we wouldn't win a natty in 47 years. Um, you and a lot of other people, but it seems like that NC State kind of broke the Razorback baseball program back in 21 with their hot hitting. And then fast forward to last year with TCU, and now just how things have just kind of, devolved at the end of the season. Um, Master Ready, embarrassing, disgusting, and right down pathetic. Same song and dance since 2018. Barf. It is. It is. You have to. I mean, 22. You go 0-2 at Hoover, and make the College World Series, because let's face it, that team was a little different. They had a different prowess on the road than say versus this team. This team, their prowess on the road was not good, and then when they were met with tougher competition, it seemed like they kind of folded a little bit. Uh, the last thing that I want to bring up here before I jump off of here, because I there are some time constraints that I have to stay within. Uh, what does the pitching rotation look like next year? What does this batting order look like next year? Because let's face it, it's going to be an overhaul. I thought that this year kind of looked like the 17 to 18 season in a way at the first of the season, because you had so many guys coming back. You had a set rotation of 3, 4 guys that were solid that you knew you could count on. 18 was the same way. They I know that in 18 they lost damn near every home series or road series, or no, it was home series, and won almost every road series. But this year it was like a juxtapose. It really was. So what does the pitching staff look like? What does the batting lineup look like? I think that you're going to see more Nolan Souza. Have to see more Nolan Souza. Where you're going to put him, you got to find a spot for him. I mean, hell, even if it's a DH, this lineup needs pop. This lineup needs a guy that comes up every time, like a Chad Spanberger, for instance, and the opposing team's like, damn, this guy's up again. And then sprinkle in some guys that can kind of insulate him a little bit that could still hurt you at the plate. Bring in another power bat, and then some guys that can hit for average. But that this that's something that Dave's going to have to get sorted out over the uh, next couple of months. One more comment from Bob M. Last year's freshman outfielder Mason Neville never played last year. Went to the portal, starts for Oregon, 16 homers, 300 plus batting average. Yeah, exactly. Again, I think that comes down to NIL more than anything else. I think that comes down to NIL. I don't think it has to do with playing time. I think it has to come down to NIL, because, like Peyton Holt said last year, whenever Stovall got hurt, Arkansas doesn't have backup players; they have future stars. Look what Peyton Holt's done this year. Yes, exactly. Mason Neville could have been one of those guys for Arkansas. Was it NIL? I don't know. Could have been. Yeah, most definitely. All right. Master Ready. That crappy NT's bottom barrel coaching bomb. Yeah. And then Fred Houston send Thompson to Jonesboro. Oh my gosh. I don't think that we want to discard the people that we don't want to Jonesboro. I just gonna throw that out there, because I mean, no, you're gonna face Arkansas State during the season, and that's the first thing on their minds is, okay, we're gonna put it to the Razorbacks. They got rid of me. No, don't want to do that. NT couldn't. Nate Thompson couldn't teach T-ball head. Yeah, okay. That we get it. We get the frustrations, and I trust me. This is exactly what this is for today. This is for frustrations, for folks to get their mind off of the fact and how much of a gut punch this whole entire back half of the season's been. You know that Bobby Smittle, Hog Noxious, is not going to be renewing his tickets this next coming year. And if there's new news on that, I haven't heard it. But you have fans that are starting to maybe see some of the cracks in the dam. So I don't know. We'll have to see where Dave's Dave Van Horn has forgot more baseball than I know. Dudley and I both say that. Uh, he has been in spots where we've never been before, but at the same time, you have to be objective in looking at a team like this and take the rose colored glasses or the hog colored glasses off for just a moment and say, a fish is a fish. This is exactly what this is. So this needs to be fixed. And I think that that's what's going to happen in this offseason is that he's going to take a look and things are going to get righted. I got faith in Coach Van Horn. I mean, he's going to make the right decisions to get this program back to where, you know, it needs to be. This isn't where it needs to be. Now, let me pose this question to you because a good friend of mine, Ty Richardson's posed this on ESPN Arkansas a few times. Would you have the same reaction last year and this year if Arkansas had won a national championship 2 years ago? Does this reaction happen if you win a national championship 2 years ago? My answer to that, hell yes, it does. Because once you win the national championship, that's the next thing you think of is that you have Dave Van Horn, Arkansas baseball, and it steadily puts out a great product and a winning product. You don't see an Ole Miss that won it and then fell off. You don't see those types of things happen, or you don't see a Mississippi State that wins it and then falls off the table as well. Which you kind of sit there and you're like, that's um, Natty gives forgiveness. That's what Master Ready said. Yes, but at the same time, if you have a national championship and you have players that are coming off of those teams, the next thing that you expect is to reload, not retool. So that's where you sit. And I firmly believe that there are fans that would, a majority, honestly, would be really irritated by the fact that you had a possibility, say, just let me delve into this for a second. Make a run to Omaha and win it. Regardless of the situation, if you expected or didn't expect to. And then you go to 2 straight regionals and then you fall flat on your face like Arkansas has this last 2 years. You're going to have a lot of pissed off fans. Maybe more so than you are right now because let's face it. I mean, there's a guy that a lot of people do know about. God rest his soul, Mike Martin, that was with Florida State, made 20 trips to the College World Series with Florida State. 20. Never won it. I don't want Dave Van Horn to be 2.0. I don't want Dave Van Horn to be 2.0. I don't want this fan base to have the continual gut punch that it has every year where you come in with great hopes and they get dashed. It's it's not fun to cover a baseball team that takes a skid off the runway because let's face it, you the Dudley and Otis write exactly what happens. They write exactly, hey, this is what has happened. They are give you their not their opinion, but exactly what's going on. There's no opinion pieces here. It's all fact. When we get on here, there is opinion, and that's fine. That's what this platform is for. But it's tough to it's really tough to swallow. It really is. And I do feel for the fans out there because like I said, it's easy and Otis and I've talked about this. It's always easy and Dudley too. It's always easy to write for a team that wins. And it's never easy to write for a team that loses because there's a lot of things that go into that. You've got press conferences, you got questions, you got guys that have to answer tough questions. That's what they get paid for. That's why they make the money that they do, which by the way, Dave Van Horn, um, I think should get a raise. I know that might be a little controversial, but for the product that he has put out there with the hope that he gives fans each year, yeah, because at the end of the day, he's got to face this music too. So that's my 2 cents for today. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I want to thank our uh, sponsor, Torchies. You can make sure to catch all of their great food at their full service bar. over in Rogers and also in Fayetteville. The taco of the month last month was the Drifter, and this year, or I should say this month, is the Alabama Shaker, which has got catfish in it, which is something I never would have thought have a catfish taco. So make sure to go over, check all their great tacos out. Also, they got great drinks to get the summer started. Chips, queso. Can't go wrong on a Taco Tuesday. So make sure to head over to Torchy's of Rogers, also in Fayetteville, and go try some damn good tacos. We'll be live next Friday from 11:30 to 12 at the Torchy's location in Rogers. Make sure to join us live on hogville.net's YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. As long as you guys get the like and subscribe part down, you don't have to worry about the rest of it. It just shows up for you. You just tap on the button and you just watch us. So make sure to get on there. We're just about short of 3,700 subscribers. So make sure to get on there and check us out. Myself, Dudley, Otis, Kevin. This is after Friday. That it's going to be a lot of Kevin because he's got a lot of information, a lot of intel, and a lot of traveling with the Razorback basketball coaches. He's going to the places that they're at. Also, we'll be live at SEC Media Days in July at Dallas. So make sure to jump on with us there. So I want to thank you guys for jumping on with me today. Again, as of right now, we're just right around 300 folks that are watching live. So make sure to, like I said, like and subscribe. I want to thank Torchy's. It's been our sponsor this last half of the baseball season. Hoping that we can continue that partnership with them, because Marcus and Leighton have been great to us, to Dudley and myself, and want to support them and everything that they do. So again, for myself, Jason, I want to thank you guys for jumping on with me today for the Fayetteville regional final show here on hogville.net's YouTube Live. Y'all take care.
Hey, it's Dudley and Jason from hogville.net's Arkansas Diamond Report. If you're looking for some great tacos and a place to call the hogs, Torchy's is the place. We will air the Arkansas Diamond Report every Friday at 11:30 a.m. at the Rogers location until the end of the baseball season. Join us for some damn good tacos and baseball. Go Hogs!